Hello everyone, we are going to be continuing on with our NHL team season previews, moving over from the Atlantic Division to the Central Division, where we'll be talking about the Arizona Coyotes today. Now before we start, please make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel, and I am hoping to do this as a full-time job one day, so I'd appreciate your support, but if you don't feel like subscribing just yet, no worries. Now let's talk about the Yotes. So, Arizona is coming off an awful season. The team went 25-50-7 for a 57-point season while finishing 31st in the league standings. Knowing the state that the Arizona Coyotes are currently in, what should their storylines be and their expectations be for this season? I think a major talking point this year is going to be about their temporary home, which is going to be called Mullet Arena. At first I thought it would be pronounced Mullet or something like that, but no, according to multiple different things, it seems like it is Mullet, which is a family there that sponsors the program for Arizona State and is really a big booster for them. And it's funny because I think it kind of perfectly encapsulates kind of the state of where the team is. If you heard this a few years ago that the Coyotes would be playing in a 5,000 person stadium that they don't own, that was named Mullet Arena, you would have thought it was a joke, but no, this is where they're at. And it's okay because I think that while they are playing in a 5,000 person arena that everybody seems to be focusing on, there are worse things that could happen. Now I will say, Clayton Keller did kind of say something that did shock me here, where he said, quote, hopefully the fans come out and it's sold out every night and they're loud and it's a good atmosphere for us and for the team, end quote. That was funny, but it just did blow my mind because I was thinking, holy cow, like they could have nights maybe aren't a sellout, and it's because, you know, it's a little bit different situation where they're in a different stadium and they just have a very weird vibe going on. And it's just kind of a weird spot for the team. But that is one of the focal points. Another one is about the long-term, future of where this team is at. Arizona GM Bill Armstrong said, quote, when you come to watch us in the next few years, you're going to see some talented players and some hope in the organization, end quote. He then added, quote, then when you kind of get over that hump in the fourth and fifth year, you get a chance to make the playoffs, end quote. Yeah, that's basically what we're hearing right now. Yes, they're in this, temporary home, but they're also focused on this long term. They're trying to get a big stadium for the future, and of course they are hoping that within the next 4 to 5 years they're in a situation where they can make the playoffs. And that's tough, but it's the reality of the situation, and I kind of like the honesty from Armstrong. A lot of guys would either not see the problem or they would sugarcoat it. He sees this as a team that not only needs a rebuild, but a very long-term rebuild. This isn't we can do a retool on the fly and it's going to be okay. He understands this, this franchise had to be built back from the ground up. And they've done so by flipping assets and getting picks, which is another big storyline for this season, because that, of course, is focused on not only one person, but two people, and that is flipping guys to get assets for the future. So the first part of flipping guys is about Jacob Chychrun, who is the blue liner, the 24-year-old defenseman that led all defensemen during the 2020-21 season by having a 18-goal season, and then that kind of dropped off towards 7 goals this year. Whether or not that was a one-time affair is up in the air. It does seem pretty understandable, though, that the Coyotes would want to flip him, as multiple teams see him as a tantalizing pickup, part of their long-term future as he's young and had that big 18-goal season. But it also seems like they might have to lower their asking price, as they understand he's a young defenseman that has potential, and they want to get the most out of him because that's what they've been doing. At the same time, while they've been getting these assets, why could this be important? It's important for a variety of things, but really it comes down to the draft. And what team would like to have assets for the future besides a rebuilding team, but a team that's in a situation this year? This is, in my opinion, the biggest storyline, and of course tying in with the Chychrun thing about picks, is Connor Bedard. Bedard is going to probably be taken first overall this year because of all the talent he possesses and how people view him as a franchise-altering player, a Connor McDavid-esque player. Arizona is going to probably be focused on getting that first overall pick. And if they can't, guess what? If they use the plethora of first and especially second round picks that they have, they might try to make a run to give a king's ransom up for the opportunity to take Bedard. You have to remember, with Chychrun 2, they're looking for, I think, 2 firsts, so you're looking at the future that they have. I think they have like 7 second-round picks in the coming years, and then they have what would end up being 4 or 5 first-round picks in the coming years, within the next few years, if they're able to get those picks for Chychrun. This is going to be a big storyline, in my opinion, as while they want that top spot, they just might be able to give up their, assets, their gargantuan load of top end picks in order to get that top pick. Do I think that they would be able to get Bedard by trading up and saying we'll give you all these second round picks and all these first round picks? I don't necessarily, unless it was we'll give you all of our second round picks over the next 3 years and first round picks, or it'd be like 3 or 4 first round picks and then 5 or 6 second round picks. But I do think they're in a spot where if a team really liked that offer, maybe they take it. So having said all this, what do I think the team's expectations would be this year? Basically, I've already said it. They plan on losing, as much as possible. Maybe not them specifically, because no team ever decides, hey, I want to lose a bunch of games. But they are in a situation where they want to be as bad as possible, or at least in Armstrong's eyes, as they are focused on the future. And with this roster, I think they're in a good spot to lose. I hate to say that, but multiple guys that look to be good players could be flipped towards the deadline or even before the deadline, and the roster would get weaker as they try to get this top spot and then have this beautiful future that they could lay out. And I think that's kind of where they're at as of right now. They are in a spot where it's long term. Will this bear fruit down the road? Tough to say, but you have to think with the groundwork that they've laid out, and they understand that it's a long-term rebuild where they've been able to get a lot of picks, but also top-end picks where it's first or second round. They're in a good spot. So having said all this, like I said, I think the Arizona Coyotes' expectations are to be as bad as possible. What are your expectations for the Coyotes this year and in the coming years? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, please make sure to like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And everybody, please stay safe, have a great night, and go with Falky, all right? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.